This episode chronicles a 1968 Arizona yellow deluxe bus. That's a mouthful. It's not Arizona yellow, though. It's like kind of a slate gray color. And I bought it from a hippie and I sold it to a really chill dude. And he wanted me to do the floors because he wants his dogs to ride around in it. And there were some pockets of small rust. So he was like, go ahead and do the floors. Also, I'd like to have heat for when I drive it into the fall or on the winter days that I maybe get it out if the roads are clean. And I was like, sure, let's do it all. So we threw a gas heater in there, did the floors, some miscellaneous other stuff. Check it out. This is what we got. Her name is Jolene, and it just, it's a 1968 Arizona Yellow Deluxe. It's a Rust in Peace vibe. It's a Deadhead bus. It's super cool. But you get the idea. Like, this does not need to be perfect. The floors are going to be nice in it. So here's the floor that we're going to do, and it's freezing cold outside still. I originally thought I was going to patch this floor. I only saw some of the holes, like that guy there. So that's what we're going to do. It's a 2-panel replacement. I'm going to remove this sound insulation, I think. I might want gloves for that. Maybe I won't. No, I'm going to remove it. I've got to. Somebody put this stuff in here, and it's not great for anything. I'm going to grab a respirator, actually. And then remove that because I'm going to need to see how chewed up this panel back here is. And I have to... That'll be okay. Got to get in all the corners and cracks and stuff. All right, yeah, I need to remove that panel for sure. Bye. Okay, that was really annoying. And there's a lot more rust here than I thought. But we'll get after it. It's not going to be the end of the world. What an interesting expression, the end of the world. If it is like that rust is the end of the world, we're done. That's it. That rust exists. The world is over. Screen goes black. Yeah, but it's not. It's not the end of the world. That's just some rust. So we're going to get this beauty all cut out. I've got to make some markings between the top and the bottom and all that stuff just to make sure that I don't cut through anything important. And then got to clean up all the edges and surfaces and all that. And drop the new panels in, weld them all together, and it'll be fun. And so I'll try to record and document most of the process. I'll try. We'll see. Work comes first, so. Work comes first. What if it came last, though? And it was the end of the world? That'd be that. All right, I'll get to it. Shall we do some demo? I think we should. Let's do a little demo. Now, I have had metal in my eyes many times. Many, many times. And so I get all kitted up. I'm done with the safety squints and the manly man stuff. Now I wrap myself in bubble wrap. And wear that respirator that I was wearing earlier at the... I'll put up a little tent as well. Clamp my welding blanket up. Try and protect some stuff from the sparks. Try and protect the windows and all that stuff. And some of the upholstery and what have you. And what don't have you. These are the questions. Okay, so now I have built a fort in the bus. And it's a little tent fort. And I'm going to get all kitted up. We're going to do a few cuts, and then I'll get out of here because it's Friday. So here we go. Yeah, I had to take a break from that respirator. It's getting there. It's fun. It's always fun. Still demo day. Still demo day. But I'm gonna take a break. for a brownie break. One of my customers bought me brownies. They didn't buy me brownies. They brought me brownies. Nice guy, home baked. And I've got him in the office, so it's brownie time for sure. This part, 70% done. This part, less than 70% done. Gotta grind all the slag metal and spot weld marks and rust and bull crap off of the cross braces. I gotta grind the front edge of the metal down there behind that driver's side seat's a little chewed up, so we're gonna fabricate some metal and weld it in so that we've got fresh metal to weld the front edge of the floor to. Gotta clean this entire edge along here. All this needs to come off. There's this stays, but this here is an overlapping of the floor. That goes. So keeping the inner and outer rocker, getting rid of the floor section. So you got to clean the whole floor section up, redo these cross braces around the heating Y pipe back there, cut away all the corners. You have to take the rear door cards out. I haven't done that yet. It's laziness. And then the new floors will go in. So it's brownie time. Okay, so floor's out, more or less, I would say. I would say we're 93%. Hey, looky there. A little bound up. Okay. So that's the general idea. I'm going to take that door panel off, and then it'll slide over. I got to take the rest of the section of the floor off. Like I said, I got to do the sides. Somehow, We did it together. We saved the community center. We didn't save it quite. Come on. Stuck on the pivot, really? There we go. It'd be funny if it just relatched itself. Watch, it did. Nope. Retro is cool, man. This is not what people mean when they say they're into vintage vinyl. Fiberglass in my eye. Now we just got to remove all the peripheral edges of everything. Sorry, you should see the insulation job here. It's a real scraps we had left situation. Let's set up a tent. Check out my cool new tent. I'll be cutting rust out back here. Back there, and over there, and over here. So here it is in all its glory, right? Cleaned all the edges off and removed the floor, and we're not going crazy with things. Everything I do is going to be done in a way where the floor side of things is good, but if there's something surrounding the floor, you know, you can see how pockmarked this panel is on this other side here, and there's some through rust in it, right? That lower outer rocker. So we're putting the floor in today. We're not doing that lower outer rocker because that would come with some paint and body. But we're going to basically gingerly tack weld that side. We'll put some welds where there's strong metal, but nothing too crazy. And then that's going to provide the future ability to section that panel out and replace it and weld it to the floor at that time. So we're basically going to kind of leave it float in space over there, but not like fully to the point where it'll rust again in the future in case somebody never does that panel. But that side of things will be a little bit more of the like economy, restoration, I don't know how best to put it, a stopping point, if you will, Because the right way to do any of this stuff is to do it complete. I mean, as soon as you encounter rust, you go further and further and further with the best quality replacement panels and everything until the point that you've got it all cut away. It's all brand new metal and everything. But not everybody can do that. I mean, you know, there's very few vehicles that people are willing to make the investment on that'll even be worth anything when they're done. That's a whole can of worms, right? So, all right. Down here is a bus floor. This is the carnage. This is every piece and scrap. Oh, hang on. Now this is every piece and scrap that came out of this thing. I just let it all drop down because that's more fun. So, we're in the wreck of the Titanic right now. This is all what's under the sea. Right? So much fun. And there we go. So, Jolene the bus is getting it. She's starting to get it happening. And what a cutie. It's going to be great when you can eventually step in it. The next phase will be trimming the floorboards to fit, and then they can start to be tacked in after some of the patchwork and cleanup work and stuff is done. It's been kind of a monster effort, honestly, in the midst of a lot of other jobs in a fully packed shop. So, but hey, I wanted to document the process, and it's kind of an interesting one because it's not a concours restoration. It's you know, this like, hey, we're gonna maybe do that panel in the future, and we'll do this next, and we'll do that next, and all that. So the fun part is putting the floors in, getting them out. That was, you saw that. Here's the floor. It's not obviously welded in yet, but it's a test fit. I gotta notch out this piece over here. So yeah, keep on rocking. Time to put the floor in. Got everything prepped, all the stuff's prepped. Addie wants to go out. What's up, girl? Come here, you. Come on, Munchkin. I'm gonna have to go deal with that. Be right back. So after a brief intermission walking the dog, we're back. Addie's good. She did her business. Hard-working animal that she is. Floors. We're putting floors in. Yeah. It's exciting. There was a lot of trimming, there was a lot of prep, there was a lot of things that I didn't show. But hey, whatever. You don't know. You don't care. What matters is it's got a nice floor at the end of the day. Right now, it has no floor. So we're going to remedy that. There's nothing to say. There's literally nothing to talk about right now. Look, there's a floor panel. So what's funny is all the stuff I was using to do the things and stuff are on the other side of the bus. So I keep walking over there to get stuff. Okay. Got one piece in, kind of, sort of, maybe. There'll be some tappy with a hammer here and there. But for the most part, it looks pretty dang good. Passenger side goes in first, driver side goes in second. I think they did it at the factory that way so you could actually step onto the floor for installing it. I have no idea, but it would make sense because it's major tripping hazard trying to walk through all these cross braces and everything. I'm going to get some lights and stuff all set up. Grab a couple of hammers for banging and slapping things and a couple of dies and that kind of thing. I'll probably set my torch up so I can heat some metal to shape it a little bit better. If it even is going to need it, probably won't need it much. And then we'll get to zapping. We'll zappy. Zappa. Pew, pew, pew. Is there anything else? Am I missing something? Nah. I ain't missing nothing. Oh, some bolts. Yeah, I'll bolt my ground strap to where the seat rail, seat support, seat hold down bolts in, where the seat belts bolt in for the middle seat, however you want to think about it. And then that will provide a really good ground to both the floor panel and the chassis. But I'll probably use a little clamp around wherever I can as well, just to give it extra. Because these spot welders work really well, but they work best when they've got really, really nice continuity. Maximum amperage. I'll grab that. Maybe. Who calls so loud? Okay, yeah, I'm going to do a bunch of random things to prep for this, and then we'll get welding in. So I'm having to chase the threads on the floor for the seat belts. And that's just because they got all rusted up and crappy over the years. And I want my connection to be really nice and strong. And I also want to use these bolt hole locations to hold the floor down nice and tight in this area to this cross brace. Okay. Bring over the spot welding machine. Okay. All held in place. And we're all set up. Boom. If I put it on the bright setting, it dies like immediately. Battery technology. A great song. My favorite song. Battery technology. I might have to like heat and shrink it in a couple of spots and hammer on it, but I think we'll just be able to start in with her. All right. So, I don't actually know if that needs to be going, but I figure it probably likes itself a little better if it is. Nice thing about the new floor is you can sit on the new floor while you do this. Seems like it took. The little beep is reassuring. I like it. The beep of reassurance. I can't see anything. Let me give it a little go in here. Yeah, I don't even need the glasses. I might have to hammer that edge up from underneath. That one doesn't sound like it wants to stay stuck. It's probably bridging a little gap, a little air gap in there. Okay, so I have a system by which, wherein, whereby, by which, in, by which in, where in which, sandwich. I have a system for a sandwich. And it takes 3 pulls of the trigger in certain situations, 1 pull of the trigger in others. Really, I think, depends on the contact surface of the metal. Because I can't use a clamp to really push it down very tightly, it's just my body weight. I weigh like 42 pounds, so it's, you know. But VW made it from the factory probably with a little bit heavier duty. This machine is actually incredibly heavy duty when it can do a double side spot.
but the single side spot, it doesn't have as much penetration, and the thickness of this floor steel is pretty thick. So we're just doing each spot a couple of times, waiting for it to cool, moving to the next one right away, but I can do them pretty much in row pretty quickly. That's it. That's what I got going on. So VW had a crap ton of spot welds from the factory too, which is pretty funny. Oh yeah. You know what I just remembered? Addie hates beeping. Freaks her the hell out. I'm gonna go check on the dog. Okay, so I literally went into the office and put on a playlist of calming music for dogs to try and cover up the sound of the beep, because Addie hates the beep. She hates beeps in general. We found out about this watching Succession. Not Succession. I always say Succession. Severance. Watching Severance, and every time they'd use a key card, she freaks out. So that's something about her. Past trauma. Well, the welder, the spot welder, Spin Easy spot welding unit, also makes a beeping noise, like the Succession key cards. So we've got a real problem. And that is a freaking out greyhound. That's the problem. So now there's calming music playing in the office, and I hope that she can't really hear the sound of the beep over the sound of the lovely piano and forest and trees and pollinating bees and things like that. Here we go. It's liquid cooled. So I popped one there as I was going because I let the metal get too hot. So you still got to kind of jump around. It's a newer piece of equipment to me. I've used the double side spot on floor pans a ton, and that works really well. The single side spot, I'm still getting used to. This one here, though, we got nice penetration down through. You can see there it's got a really good stick in the middle, and I couldn't peel it off of there. It's heavy enough metal that with the pliers and everything I would have had to like wiggle it back and forth. So that's our top side, and this is the same thickness metal that I'm working with. These are snippings from the floor, so same thickness metal that I'm working with on the floor itself. So we're going to have, decent success rate, but there are going to be a few areas that the metal below is just pockmarked enough or what have you that it just doesn't want to take. And that's okay. It's going to look good, and it's going to be functional. There's one row down there that I got to do. 2 rows. I got to finish off the back section. Then I get to do the front. Then I get to drop the other floor pan in. Panel. Floorboard. Baby, I'm bored. I don't know what I'm doing. But I get to play with it. It's fun. Hey, you know what's clever? We got a floor. So now you're on the floor. Brand new floor. You get to hang out on it. That's still warm. That's warm. Back here is going to get MIG welded, and then spot or MIG tacks maybe at the top of it, because it's such a shallow edge. We'll see if we can get the gun in there, but I'm going to have to hammer and dolly that up tight and everything. So the next 2 we'll go that run there, we'll go that run there, and whoo lord, she's warm. So yeah, give it some cool down time and get back to it. All right, so here we are. Second day of welding the floors in. Passenger side panel is done. We're going to do the driver's side panel. Got to thread chase these inserts in the floor for the seat belts and the seat belts. I'll move the ground over to that side so it can be happy on the panel that we're actually welding in. I always want a happy ground. And it's Wednesday as I'm recording this. I don't know if it's Wednesday as you're watching it, but Woden's Day. Look it up. Hump day to many. It's floor day for me. I wish I was in floor day. Everybody always says the weather's nice in floor day. Dad jokes. Dad jokes make the world go round. So what I learned yesterday about the spot welder is that the single side spot gun, I've worked with the double side spot gun a ton, but the single side spot gun likes to get real hot. It gets hot real quick. So it doesn't go as fast as the double side because the double side has the water cooling going through the actual inverter unit. And the single side doesn't have any cooling going through it. It does have the water cooling in the inverter unit still, so it like helps to take some of the energy away from these cables, you know, some of the heat from the electricity away from the cables. But, you know, it doesn't do, it's not magic, right? So the gun itself still gets pretty dang hot. It's not hot enough that like I feel I need gloves on the plastic part of things, but it's warm. It's a warming, burning sensation. Only down towards the actual brass part in the electrode. It's like right in here gets really warm. But here's fine, there's fine. I'm mostly putting my hand there, but like as I creep my hand here, it gets toasty. So that's something I learned. Why get up when you could lay down? I'm purposefully doing this as lazy as possible. It's Wednesday. All right. Time to zap. I'm probably going to bring the goggles over and wear them because they make me feel cool. But I like won't wear them over my eyes because I am cool. And it doesn't really produce anything that's at all sparky or scary or too bright for the eyes or anything like that. It can if you like look at it too much, I guess, or too intensely. My shoes aren't wet. It was kind of wet outside, but that was a good long check. They're not wet. So I'll be able to stand on this, and I'll probably stand on it some to provide some pressure. Pressure down on it. Pressure. Pushing down on floors. Pushing down on floors. And we'll start over there. We'll make our way here. Start over there, make our way here, start over there, make our way here, that kind of thing, and then blip, 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 all down the middle. And I'll probably move your perspective to inside the cab with me because we got a floor in here. Always must cherish. How'd it get dirty? Well, now I gotta get a new one. The be air-cooled hat. Put on my welding bonnet. And my cool glasses in case I need them. And now I look cool. All right, here we go. So, got all the spot welds done. The thing is that I had to turn up the machine a little bit, and I had to get a password from the manufacturer to do that. They said it's factory programmed a little bit on the low energy side, and so once we turned it up, then the welds started sticking. I was getting like 70% stick, but I think because the bracing under the floors, some of the metal's kind of pockmarked, some of it's inconsistent in contact. So occasionally I would have a weld that would like just want to stick and then pop. And I was like, that's not cool. So now I've got to weld these seat hold down plates in. That metal's too thick for the spot weld machine on the single side setting. I could have spotted it with the double side spot weld setting because the Wolfsburg West manufacturer left these two little holes in the metal very cleverly, and you can actually spot weld right through those holes in the bracketry, so that's nice. But I didn't realize that, so I didn't preset these pieces onto the floor, and so that's that. What's up, Stan? Oh, I got a weld. So Stanley just interrupted me. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, I could have tacked these into place with the double side machine first. And the next time I do this, I definitely will do that. But in this case, we're just gonna give them some zippy zaps with the old zippy zap gun, and it'll be copacetic. That's a big word. Don't need anything crazy. It is holding the seat in, but as long as it's, tacked down well, it'll be happy. So I'll probably give it a seam here and a seam there just in the middle, give it some extra strength or whatever, and they provided these little holes, I assume, to weld through, so that's what I'm going to do with those. At that point, it might not need the front and back edge seam. So maybe I'll just run the rest of this there, and I'll run the rest of this here. Yeah. Next one. Close enough, really. Smooth some of them out. Clean up any of the splatter. We should be in good shape. Okay, so I've made some brackets for the door panel, interior panel, however you want to refer to it or call it, and they need to be tacked in place. So I'm going to go ahead and get all geared up here and tack those puppies in place. Addie is complaining a little bit, but should be able to get this done and then go take her for a quick walk. The gist of it is that these holes for the door clips are going to align with the holes in the side panel there. So it's not that big a deal to line them up. Take a level, go halvesies on the hole, halvesies on the hole. That's kind of funny. We'll do a third one just for fun. There's one. Might add a little air under that one. It was a little thin, I kind of burnt through. So I'll get the regular MIG out and tack that fully closed. Okay, so now we're going to apply the calc. I'm saying that funny, aren't I? But if I say it differently, it'll sound like something else. So, yeah, quick seal, panel adhesive, panel sealant, panel adherent, panel abhorrent. These are all just words. Little brush, little finger. Actually, that's the little finger. Anyway. And let's see, what do we got? Did not weld this panel to this panel because this panel is rusty. So going to run a bead of panel sealant along the top. And that way in the future, if we ever section this panel out, we'll just go zzz, tear it out of there, clean the panel sealant off with a little cookie wheel or whatever, and then we'll be able to weld to our fresh new panel that's going to replace whatever is rusted there. But right now, the point of this is to get new floors into a rust-in-peace bus. So we're not, it's always hard. It's like, where do you draw the line? Where do you say, I'm not going to fix that, or I'm not going to fix that, I'm just going to do this? And you know, everybody's budget's different, so got to just sort of abide by what maketh the most sense. All right, anyway. Get a little bit of the panel sealant started, and we'll start over here. agonizingly quiet. Now the floor's got all the caulking on it. And it's a happy day. We will wait for all this to dry and then paint everything up. I'll add 2 anchors, four threaded inserts as anchors in the back. And she'll be a bus again with the floor again. Nice and soft. Okay, so I'm almost done masking. I honestly didn't expect to be doing any video today, so I didn't bring any of my equipment into the shop. I thought it was mostly just going to be painting, but then I realized that that's part of the process too. So, apologize for not having my steady stuff, tripod and all that. Added anchors to the floor for where the rear heating vent duct comes out. So added 2 anchors there, added anchors for alongside both of the heating duct vent outs. This is gonna have a gas heater under the back seat, so we're gonna use one of those as actually a vent in to supply heat all the way up to the dash and everything. But the one on the passenger side where those other 2 anchor points are for the floor heater, those are still going to be the factory style outlet. Have everything almost all the way masked off to paint the floors up, and I'll finish masking off now that I've got those anchors in place, and then we'll be into shooting some nice paint down onto the floor. Some tough stuff. So, but that's how she turned out. We're in another plastic tent. Keep making tents. Oh, that's Addie. Gotta go. We got floors. Fully painted. Can roll around on them. Fun to look at. Beautiful. White. Floors. And now we gotta put a gas heater in. And yeah, stuff. Keep on rocking. But the important thing is the floors are nice and solid, and everything turned out well. You know, another day in the life. So I'm gonna give you a little flyover perspective, and we'll start in on the gas heater install and just keep rocking this thing into shape. Back here is where the boss is for the heat under the back seat, and the 2 shield covers there and there. Those bosses are put in and everything. There you go. Floors, man. How pretty. Doesn't get better than that, right? Now I'm gonna throw a back seat in. At least the bench part of the bottom of the back seat. And we'll get rocking on all that is gas heater. Hey, thanks for watching. Do me a favor, like and subscribe. It's that simple. It helps out a ton. I'm the only person here, but you're the person over there, right? And for me to be able to do this is really fun, and it's a joy, and I love being able to share it with you guys. That's the best way that you can help me. If you also want more of this content in other ways, you want to support in other ways, check out the Be Air Cooled website, beaircooled.com. Look for merchandise, my t-shirts and hats. Whatever floats your boat, grab something. Whatever powers your wagon, whatever makes you happy. So yeah, that's what this is all about. It's about having fun, enjoying classic car culture, enjoying classic motor experience, getting some dirt under your fingernails, or not, keeping them clean and just driving down the road. Whatever makes you happy. And yeah, be air cooled.